time keeps on moving. So, the same way in this paragraph, one change is also about to happen. So, when I decided to go abroad for further studies, I was sure my grandmother would be upset. So, now he decided to go abroad for his further studies, and he was thinking that grandmother must be upset this time because I would be away for 5 years, and at her age, one could never tell, but my grandmother could. So, for how many years he was going there? For 5 years. So, and also he added, at her age, one could never tell. What does it mean here? One could never tell. He's saying that in this age, no certainty. It means to say here, if someone is an old age, extremely old, that that person cannot commit something for the future. So the same way, there is no certainty or surety. But my grandmother could means, but his grandmother had that kind of will. Okay. She was not even sentimental, though he was thinking she must be upset, but she was not even emotional at that moment. She came to leave me at the railway station but did not talk or show any emotion. She went there to leave him at the railway station but did not express any kind of emotion there. Her lips moved in prayer. Her mind was lost in prayer. Even in this moment, at this moment, she was lost in prayer. Her fingers were busy telling the beads of a rosary. You see, in the characteristic of the grandmother, that she was a religious lady and she always busy in reciting the prayer and telling the beads of rosary. So at this moment also she was doing the same thing. Silently she kissed my forehead, and felt when I left, I cherished the moist imprint as the last sign of physical contact between us. When grandmother kissed on his forehead, he want to cherish it. What does it mean of cherish? Cherish when you want to keep something or protect and care something lovingly. So he want to protect that moist imprint, moist, or you could say that mark of her kiss. He want to protect it forever as perhaps the last sign of physical contact between us, because he was thinking might be it was the last physical contact between them, because she's extremely old and there is no certainty in this age. So that is why he was thinking it could be the last physical contact between them. But that was not so. After 5 years, I came back home and was met by her at the station. But it was not true. When he returned back, she was the same. She was waiting for him at the station. She did not look a day older. She remained the same as in old age, one remained the same as already I told you. She did not look a day older. She still had no time for words, and while she clasped me, hold someone tightly, or you could say when she hugged him in her arms, I could hear her reciting her prayers. At this time also she did not want to waste her time in the words. She was reciting the prayer even at the time of hugging him. Even on the first day of my arrival, her happiest moment. So you remember what was her happiest moment of the day? When she used to feed the sparrows, were with her sparrows whom she fed longer, and with frivolous rebuke. What is frivolous rebuke here? Sometimes a kind of voice we create for attracting the animals or bird, or calling them, because there is no language of animals and birds, but so we create a kind of noise to attract them. So the same way she used to call these birds with these frivolous rebukes. Okay. In the evening, a change came over her. She did not pray. She collected the women of the neighborhood. Means earlier in the entire chapter you had seen she hardly speak to anyone, but one change had happened that day. That day she did not pray. Instead, she collected the women of the neighborhood, got an old drum and started to sing. What is this old drum? In Hindi you call it dholak. Okay. So you got that old drum and started to sing for several hours. She thumped the sagging skins of the dilapidated drum. Okay, means she was singing by thumping that drum. The next morning, she was taken ill. It was a mild fever, and the doctor told us that it would go. The next morning, she was fallen ill, might be due to that overstraining. Though it was a mild fever, so doctor told them that it would go and she would be fine soon. But my grandmother thought differently. But his grandmother was thinking something else. So she told us that her end was near. She was thinking that she was going to die soon. She said that since only a few hours before the close of the last chapter of her life she had omitted to pray, she was not going to waste any more time talking to us, as if she knew this, that as if she was waiting for her grandson only. So she told such words just before few hours to the last chapter of her life. Though that day she had omitted to pray, she skipped praying. Now she was not wanted to waste her time. So she was not going to waste any more time talking to us. Instead, she wanted to pray this time. We protested, but she ignored our protest. They protested, they rejected this thing because they did not ready to believe this fact. Then she lay peacefully in bed, praying and telling her beads. Again, she engaged herself in reciting the prayer and telling that beads of her rosary. Even before we could suspect, her lips stopped moving and the rosary fell from her lifeless finger. Before they could suspect something, before they could understand something, her lips stopped moving and rosary fell from her lifeless fingers. Now you can understand what has happened. Her lifeless fingers itself telling that now she was died. A peaceful pallor spread on her face. Peaceful pallor, a pallor is, you could say it means faded color, but here it means that peaceful pallor spread on her face, that lifeless, because that her body is now lifeless, that is why peaceful pallor spread on her face, and we knew that she was dead. So now they realized that she was no more, she got died. We lifted her off the bed, and as is customary, so now after her death, now some ritual has been started, laid her on the ground and covered her with a red shroud. They laid her down in the ground and covered her with a red shroud. After a few hours of mourning, what is mourning? Expressing grief. So, obviously, over her death, everyone must be expressing the grief. So, after a few hours of mourning, we left her alone to make arrangements for her funeral. They went away for the arrangement of funeral. In the evening, we went to her room with a crude stretcher. So, now they came with a crude stretcher to take her to cremated. What is cremated? The same way as funeral. The sun was setting and had lit her room and veranda with a blaze of golden light. So there were a golden light of sun was there in her room and veranda because sun was setting that time. We stopped halfway in the courtyard. Why they stopped? All over the veranda in her room, right up to where she lay dead and stiff wrapped in the red shroud, thousands of sparrows sat scattered on the floor. Near her dead body, thousands of sparrows were scattered there on the floor. There was no chirruping, so you could understand that these birds too were sad because they were not creating any kind of sound this time. We felt sorry for the birds, and my mother fetched some bread for them. We felt sorry means they were feeling sorry for the birds because they were sad. So, narrator's mother fetched some bread for them and she broke it into little crumbs the way his grandmother used to feed them and threw it to them. The sparrows took no notice of the bread because birds too were sad, so they were not paying any attention to these breadcrumbs. When we carried my grandmother's crops off, they flew away quietly. Sorry. When they carried grandmother's corpse off, they flew away quietly, and next morning the sweeper swept off the birds' breadcrumbs into dustbin, which proves that after this also the birds did not take any notice to these breadcrumbs. They had not eaten anything, so that's why we can feel that even animals and birds too have feelings. They too express their feelings. Okay. All about Portrait of a Lady, written by Khushwant Singh. Now you can see how beautiful Khushwant Singh has drawn a lifelike pen portrait of his grandmother.